What up, my people? And on this episode right here, I'm going to tackle the top 5 questions I keep getting on prophecies and tell you if these prophecies hold any weight or is it just shit. Let's do it. Teflon TV. Teflon TV. What up, my people? You know who it is. It's the Don. Tony Teflon. House Teflon. We pull the string. It's the Don. Tony Teflon. House Teflon. We pull the string. What up? Alright, so listen, I keep getting a lot of people in the comments and they leave me a lot of, hey, I think this could be this and that could be that and this could be that. And I get a lot of them. But there's a couple that I keep getting. So what I'm going to do on this quick little video I'm going to do right here real quick is I'm going to tell you if these prophecies or predictions or whatever you want to call them, if it's real or not, or if it's possible. Now, first off, when I do a prophecy or anything dealing with this, I usually have 2 things in mind when I do it. Number one is, does it fit the text, right? And that's what I look at. Now, I have to have some textual evidence in this book about certain things in order for it to be true to me. If not, then we can all just make up whatever we feel. Number 2 is it has to work in the story. There's no reason for him to write something that does not work in the story. So it has to flow in the story. It has to be relevant to the story. It has to move the story along in a positive way, or it makes no sense to do it. All right, so I'm going to go through these real quick, and we shall see if these people are crazy or if this is the real deal. All right, so the first one I got here is Victorian Greyjoy is Azor Ahai. Now, no, he's not. All right, I'm going to tell you why. I understand. Listen, the man's at sea. He has a burning arm, smoking. He's going to save the world. Now, let's be realistic here. Is Victorian Greyjoy the person that you think is a hero? Is he going to save the world? He's the farthest thing from that. 2, this Azor Ahai thing is a very big thing in the book. This is not a side little thing. This is something. It's been said over and over by different people, different places. They all have a different name for the person, but it's all the same person. So it has to be somebody important, right? Victorian Greyjoy or any Greyjoy are not important to this story. Period. They're not. They can be replaced by anybody else, any other house in the story. It's that simple. They're not important like that. So he's not important like that. Next thing you have to say to yourself about this thing is that you must be of the bloodline of Mad King Aerys and Rhaegar, right? That is what must happen. That is given. He is not. That is one thing that cannot be disputed out of all this Azor Ahai situation, is that. Now, there are other people that I'm sure people think of it, but in all honesty, I'm going to tell you that Azor Ahai is Jon Snow. I know there's a possibility of it being Dany. Dany does fit all the things that are supposed to be there. But as I said, the reason why I'm going to go with Jon Snow over Dany is the fact that it says he will be reborn when the darkness takes over the world. The things that have happened to Dany, darkness has not swept across the world yet. Right about now, I do believe it is about to sweep across the world when Jon is about to come be reborn. And I think that is the main reason. We know he has the birthright. He does not have the sword yet, but he has a vision of him holding the sword. Salt and smoke is all there. Bleeding Star, the guy's getting smashed around. It's all there. As for Dany, we know she has woke. The thing that Dany has over Jon is that she has woken Stone Dragon. She has Stone Dragon. She has awoken them. That's the one thing she has, but that could be misinterpreted. But that is the only thing that anyone could say. Everything else, Dany fits, and she has woken dragons from stone. She just does not have the sword, but sometimes the dragons are referred to as swords. So, Dany is the only other viable person to be it. But I'm going to lean towards Jon, but the only other person it could be is Dany. But Jon is it for me. All right, next question I get. Oh, another one. Jon and Dany are twins. And mostly people believe this is because of this whole Red Door situation. No, they are not. I really don't. Listen, Jon and Dany are the most important people in this story, right? The story is about Jon and Dany. It's called The Song of Fire and Ice. We have the fire, we have the ice. This is what it is. There's no denying that. Now, we have a whole background on Dany that when she is born at sea. Besides the age is not messing up. Besides that. But we have a whole background of the man who was with her and he sweeps her away and takes him away. All of that. We have her mother dying. You're saying that all of that never happened. That was all made up. We have a story of Jon being in the Tower of Joy, of Ned taking the baby, the one baby, and saying, promise me, making Jon the prince that was promised. What was the promise? The promise is very simple. Don't let Robert kill my kid. That's what the promise is. I know people want to make up this whole thing that this promise was so, oh, promise me that you're going to take Jon and my other baby, and then somehow when the queen dies giving birth to whoever she was giving birth to, you're going to swap this baby out, and then this guy is going to think it's hers. And just so happens the queen was having a baby to another girl. Listen, man, it makes no sense, man. There's no evidence that supports it. You want to say some red door because she has a vision of a red... Listen, man, there's no reason for this man to build up this story, and I'm talking about George R. R. Martin, to change it and to make them twins. It doesn't serve the purpose of the story in any way. It doesn't make anything different. It's like the other thing that people like to say, dealing with the same situation, that Rhaegar wasn't fighting Robert at the Battle of the Trident, that was Sir Arthur Dayne, and Rhaegar. Listen, what would that matter? They're both dead, right? Robert killed Rhaegar, and if you want to say it was Sir Arthur Dayne, he killed him on the Trident, right? Sir Arthur Dayne, if you want to say that was Rhaegar, got killed by Ned and Howland Reed. They're both dead. So why would he change the people and put them in different places if they're both going to be killed? It just doesn't make sense. So no, that didn't happen. Robert did kill Rhaegar to try it, and Sir Arthur Dayne died over there. That's it. And Jon is not Dany's sister. The bottom line, and I've said it before, and I'll say it for hopefully the last time right now, is that when Dan and Dave met George R. R. Martin, they guessed Jon Snow's mother and father. They guessed his parentage. Do you really think that they said Dany? They didn't. They did not. And there's no reason for him to be. Jon Snow is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark. That's it. I know you want it to be something else, but it's not. That's what it is, man. That's it. All right, next one. The Kettle Black brother is the Valonqar. Now, I've heard a lot of things about the Valonqar and who it could be, and I have put out there that it could be Stannis. It could be a lot of people. And to say that the guy is called little brother and they call that he could be, yes, of course. But what sense does that make to the story? None. That's why it's not true. This is a prophecy given to Cersei when she is a child, right? So you think that this person was giving Cersei a prophecy about a person that she did not yet encounter in her life? It seems a little far-fetched. Even with my standards, it seems far-fetched. You would think that it would be either two people. It's either Tyrion or it's Jaime. The reason why I don't believe it's Tyrion is because Cersei always thinks it's Tyrion. So that's who she's thinking is going to be, Tyrion. So the fact that she thinks that from the jump, from the time she was born, from the time that this thing was given to her, that she thought it was her, him, it's not him. That's it. That's the reason why. Because that's who she wants it to be. That's who she thought it was. So who else could it be? Her other brother, Jaime, would seem obvious that it would be him. It makes more sense for the story that it would be him. The one that she's in love with is the one who eventually kills her. Seems perfectly suited for that. And most likely, that is the case. As for Stannis, who I would like it to be, or anyone else, I can go into the book and I can say, look, he's a little brother. There's 1,000 little brothers. Everyone's a little brother got in this motherfucking book series. Everyone's a goddamn bastard. So I would like it to be Stannis, but realistically, I don't think it's Stannis. It's most likely Jaime. But the reason why I give pause on Jaime is because if we want to go word for word, it says wrap his hands. Now maybe George R. R. Martin put that down there and didn't realize he put the S at the end and it got written. He just wanted to put hand because Jaime, we know, has one hand. He doesn't have the other hand. So, but if that's what it was meant and it's going right by the word hands and he does not have two hands, unless you want to consider the gold hand one, that would be a reason why it would not be Jaime. That's the only reason. But as a book, as a story, does it make sense for it to be Jaime? Of course it does. Should it be Jaime for a book, for a thing? Yes, it should be. Is it? I don't know, but I would have to tell you that it's not going to be somebody who is a secondary character who doesn't mean shit. It's not going to be no Kettle Black Cat who just came in for a couple of chapters. This is a prophecy she was given from the beginning when she was a child. It's going to be someone very important. All right? So that is my thing on that. I think if you want me to, I don't even have to do a video on it. If I had to pick and gun to the head, though I wish it could be Stannis, I would have to say it's Jaime. I mean, you have to. There's no other plausible person that fits the story for it to be. Next one. Mance Raider is Rhaegar. I think I've already touched on Rhaegar's situation a little bit. I know that you people like him to play the harp and he's got long hair. And maybe from those couple of tales, people just want to see him. You're not. Only in a flashback. The man is dead. All right? That's it. As for Mance Rhaegar being him, he has a backstory. He has a story of being born from a wildling chick and being taken and dropped off after a raid, and he's at the Night's Watch. He was raised by it. So all those people that raised him, that was just all put there just to lie. It's just a big lie. So anyone who was there calling the half hand and all these guys should remember him and all that. Jorah Mormont, everyone from back in the day, Aemon, who remembers him as a baby up there. It's not him. Are you going to say that it was him and at some point after the Tower of Joy, Rhaegar decided to find out who this Mance Raider guy was, kill him, take his place, and defect to the Wildlands? Is that what you're telling me? Come on, man. He has a backstory. And his backstory is who he is. And that's who Mance is. Mance Raider is Mance Raider. That's it. That's the bottom line. He's not Rhaegar. There's no secret there. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. So Mance was just he did it to what? To watch over Jon Snow, his son, from all the way over there beyond the wall. So he saved his life just so he can go beyond the wall and then range once every 10 years into Winterfell, take a look at his son, and go back over there. Come on. He's not. Mance Raider is Mance Raider. Rhaegar Targaryen is dead. Period. All right? All right. Another one. Varys is a woman. Listen, he's a eunuch. He got his dick cut off. So if you want to consider him being by woman by that, then yes. As a woman, is he a woman? I doubt it. I don't see how that helps the story in any way of him being a woman. He dresses up as men all the time, as the guy in the black cells and all these cans, but now all of a sudden he's got a sports bra on, he's strapping them titties in. I mean, it doesn't fit or make any, it doesn't move the story in any way possible forward. If we say Varys is a woman, okay, how does that help the story? It doesn't. How does it move the story for? Oh, because he had to be a woman to do that. To do what? It doesn't help the story or do anything in the story in any way. So, no, Varys is not a woman. Varys is a guy who George R. R. Martin came up with a whole story for, how he was caught and he was sold to a guy and the guy cut off his manhood, and this is the reason why he hates sorcery and all that. He came up with this whole beautiful backstory for the guy, just to say, fooled you, he's a woman. None of that happened. I, I don't. It makes no sense. I don't see why he would do that. You know what I mean? So, no, Varys is Varys. He's a man. Could he be a woman? Anything's possible. But do I think he is? No. It makes no sense for him to be at all. Why would he want to be? Why would he make him a woman? What does that do? Does nothing. Nothing whatsoever. So, I got another one. And this is regarding the pink letter here. Mance wrote the pink letter because he said that he can climb a wall and get into a wall because he climbed the wall. So he could easily climb the wall and get into the Maester's tower to send out a raven. You know, the fact that you climbed the wall does not mean you wrote a letter. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people that can climb walls to get into a Maester's tower. Is that reason? So we got to say the reason why Mance was able to write this pink letter, and the reason why is because he said, all right, I got to get to this. I scaled the wall so many times. This tower is nothing. And I'm sure he probably could. Though it's ice on the tower, it's snowing all the time. I'm sure he doesn't have the equipment that he used to climb the wall, the spikes and everything else, in Winterfell with him. I would think that it's so icy and snowy that it would be hard for him to climb this tower with his bare hands or whatever he had to. With people walking all over the place. There's armies in there, thousands and thousands of people walking around, but the cloak of darkness, Mance Raider, Spider-Mance, is going to climb this tower, get in there, and write this letter and send this off. Come on, man. Really? Come on, man. You got to come up with something better for Mance to have written this letter. And you got to say, oh, Mance, when he was in disguise as Rattleshirt, he was trying to get to Tormund's Giantsbane, and John wouldn't let him go. So then this is the reason why he's trying to get this letter to Tormund, the Giantsbane. And the first thing that Tormund Giantsbane tells you about the letter, when he hears the letter, is that the letter is a fake. And he says that, and he says, I could write down anything. I could tell you my dick is as big as it wants to be if you give me a cooling pad, right? I can tell you anything. And the reason why he's saying that is to let you know that this guy's not even that smart, and he's telling you that he's figured out that this letter is a fake, all right? So that's what they're trying to say with that statement there. Like, it's not from Ramsay. It's a fake letter. And that's what he's trying to tell John at the time. So, no, he wasn't trying to get in communication with some code to get into communication with Tommen to come down there. Do not believe that. As for people who say Stannis didn't write it, if Stannis wrote it, why would he ask for his family to come down there? Why would he want his family to come through the harsh conditions? The purpose of the letter is not for the person to comply to the letter. The purpose of the letter is to get Jon Snow to leave the wall and go down there. That's what he's trying to do. He's giving him options that he knows he will not comply with. He thinks John's going to send this letter, and then he's going to say, all right, John's going to say, all right, Queen, I'm going to go down there. Go down. No, he's doing it. He's giving him options he knows he cannot comply with, so he has no choice but to leave the wall because Stannis has already tried to convince him to leave the wall numerous times. I'm not going to go into it, and that is the reason why. But Mance, the reason that he was able to scale the wall, because he said that in a text at one point, to give him the ability to scale a tower. That there's no factual evidence that he scaled a tower or anything, or anyone scaled a tower. It's not like they put in the book, oh, he walked by, Theon Greyjoy walked by the Mesa Towers. It looked like someone scaled it. They would have to put something in there like that to give you a reason to think that someone did something. But the fact that there is nothing like that in the books, you're grasping at straws, people thinking that right there. So that is definitely not the case. So those are a couple of prophecies, predictions that people have came up with that I have no choice but to shoot down. There's a lot more. I will do another video on this if it gets a lot of views. And people have asked me why I haven't done part 2 to a couple of videos. If I don't get the views on the part 1, I usually don't do the follow-up video. That's why it usually happens. So if I get the views on it, or someone after that may think people not interested in it, so I keep going on with it. So if I get the views on it and I see people like it, that's when I usually do the part 2. So if you see part 1s and there's no part 2, it's probably because only 1,000 people watch it. All right. So I have been very busy. I have a lot of things going on in my life and a lot of good things and stuff, and that is the only reason why I have not been able to do a lot of things. I did do a video on Don Witt's channel, Talking to Shit with Don Witt. I am on that, so if you go to his channel, you can see something I did with him. I think I did that last week. It's a couple of hours long, so please check that out. And he finally put my name right. My name is Tony Teflon. Teflon TV is just this station. All right? And that's it. So I have a couple of things with a couple of people in works. I'm going to hopefully get to them soon. I doubt I'll be able to get to them right away because obviously like I said before, I have a lot of big things. And I mean big things. I mean big things in my life going on right now. Big things, all right, that I've been working on for years that are now coming to fruition. So I have to get these things done. It's no disrespect to anybody. I really do like doing these videos, and I'm trying to do that, but I have life things that I have to take care of, all right? So until next time, you know who it is. Peace. Stay warm. It's cold as a motherfucker out there. At least over here in New York it is.
Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, Tony Teflon, Teflon 316. Peace.
And I'm out. Stay sexy.